Hedge, hedge, tube dwellers, and welcome to Dota 2. I have a special treat for you today. A ranked match that I played recently. You can see here on my profile. I'm not technically ranked yet. This is actually the first ranked match I've ever played. And it turned out to be a pretty good one. So why don't I bring it to ya in the casting format. From the almighty perspective of speculation. Don't compete with me, woman! Who is that? The Death Prophet? That was indeed the Death Prophet. The teams are beginning to form up. Radiant versus Dire, as is in every Dota match. I suppose I'll throw a hero lineup out once we truly have one. For the time being, we can admire this Greeble on a turtle. I don't remember. How do you look up the, Oh, yeah, this is it. Unusual Mercy the Smeevil. I was wrong. It's not a Greeble, it's a Smeevil. The Greevils were from the 2013 International. Smeevils were from the 2012. We have two almost full teams.
30 seconds to battle.
Some people are beginning to show their desires or tendencies. And some of the tendencies look very odd. So we have a complete team. The Dire team finishes their roster lineup first. Let's take a look at everybody on it. Of course, we have the Pudge. Looks like he's heading towards the mid. The mid lane as the horn blows here. In top lane, we've got a Sand King and a Warlock. It looks like Lion might be going to Ward. I'm not sure if they're going to try lane here, or if they're just going to dual lane and allow him to go down to the bottom after getting a ward out. Of course, we have a Phantom Assassin on the bottom, so I kind of expect dual lane. She's not necessarily the best solo against two. On the other side of the river, the Radiant are fielding a Kunkka to the mid lane. As we get some stuff started here, we're going to see a Razor and Rubik combo in the top lane, and a Windrunner, what is this, Disruptor? Windrunner Disruptor going into the bottom lane. So kind of interesting, both teams actually have a 2 support lane. I guess Warlock could be considered a carry. Items can make his ultimate really nasty, the Chaotic Offering. The right items, Refresher, Ags, can just send him off in a crazy good spiral and allow the team bearing the Warlock to take team fights easily. Oh my, we have huge action in the mid lane. Oh, Kunkka! Oh, just barely takes out a Pudge with a nice torrent, but gets downed by the ranged creep. And right as he's talking trash to the downed Pudge, he chokes on a little bit of his curse. Ends up drowning out himself. So first blood goes the way of the Radiant, the way of the Kunkka, but a kill is returned. It looks like Pudge did get the gold for that, which is, I guess, the best side of a bad situation. You obviously don't want to die as Pudge mid. Pudge needs that snowball. He needs that early momentum to keep an advantage and just really make a disgusting mess of things. And it looks like elsewhere, farm's kind of mixed up. Not a whole lot of farm coming out for the Radiant on the bottom side here. The Dire are actually taking the better side of it quite heavily. This PA doing a great job here after these first couple waves of getting the last hits. Kunkka also doing well, and a matter of fact, the Disruptor, right as I said, nobody down here is doing great. The Disruptor's actually pulling quite a few last hits out. He's keeping up with the PA, but Disruptor farm does not mean nearly as much as Phantom Assassin farm. That hero can do some disgusting things with the right items. I would say even more so than the Warlock. Kunkka is going to get a regen rune. Bottom, he does already have his bottle. He's going to try to throw a torrent. It looks like it's aimed at farming, though. Not so much at killing heroes. And that's going to amount to a single last hit for him. Not exactly the best use of a regen. He probably should have returned to middle lane. Oh, matter of fact, he still got the regen, so it's not like he used it. He did spam out a little mana, though. He probably should have tried to go back mid and got a torrent on the unsuspecting Pudge who was missing from the lane. Hindsight is 20/20, though. In the moment, Could have looked like he was going to get a kill up here. This is a kind of tough duel lane. PA has a lot of damage potential, not necessarily early, but the blink allows her a lot of mobility in or out, aggressive or defensive, and then of course the Lion, the double disable, that is really powerful in any lane at any time. The lockdown, it can just guide engagements. Can really make them go your way by locking down the right person at the right time, the guy with the most damage potential, or the person who's going to try to lock down you. The farm continues in much the same direction. PA staying on top of things. Here before long, we'll start seeing what kind of items she's thinking about. Torrent goes down. Kunkka misses, but his cleave continues to make life really difficult for Pudge. Pudge is not enjoying this middle lane. It's getting taken from him fairly handedly. Kunk is almost in a position to double him up on the last hits, and he's got a couple denies as well. Having taken that first kill, he's a full level ahead of Pudge. That all spells disaster for Pudge's momentum. We'll see how it goes, though. You can always get a good rotation gank, especially as Pudge. That's probably where the majority of his potential lies. The regen rune's going to be used. Kunkka with the ward gets another rune. Pudge even has the wards himself, but he's just not watching as closely, not moving as proactively. Kunkka picks up a double damage after getting a full regen off the last rune. Top is hanging way back. I'm guessing, well, I was going to say they're low health. I will say that they're a little bit low on regen. The Warlock's basically all the way out. Sand King still has a salve. A lot of paint been traded up there. Quite a bit of paint being traded down here too. The Disruptor, really good farm for a support. I mean, considering it's a dual support lane, one of the two supports here is going to get good farm, ideally. Right now it's the Disruptor picking it up. He's already got his Arcane Boots. Those are very quick for a support. Looks like the Windrunner, who I guess I never mentioned, is me in this game. Mad Guru, you see the tag right there. I am playing the Windranger. I said Runner a second ago. I meant Ranger. Still a little bit of adjustment period. You'll have to give me a solid 5 years to adjust to that name change. It may actually take longer than that. Kunkka's rotated. It looks like Pudge wants to follow suit. I'm not sure that Bottom knows about this Kunkka down here. He did use a double damage rune. It's just now running out, so he's not going to get to use any of that. But he is hidden, and there goes a ward. Oh, Pudge is looking for a hook. Can he get it? There's a stun. Pudge has this hook. He gets Kunkka with the hook. Pudge has got his rod on. Sand King trying to do some damage. It looks like damage is going the other way, though. Kunkka flings a boat. It's not going to land on anything. They do get the passive buff. Oh, and Pudge gets a second hook. It hits Rubik, and it lands well. And now Kunkka's in trouble. The Warlock is going to take him out, and Pudge looks like he's going to get away. The movement speed is in the favor of the Razor, but can he get anything? No, there's going to be another hook. Pudge gets a double kill. I said something about Pudge's potential with rotations, and here it is, showing true. Pudge comes up after Kunkka, and with a couple surprise hooks, gets a double kill. That is the exact kind of snowball that Pudge did not achieve farming in the early game. With a haste, Disruptor should be able to pick up the Warlock here, no problem. He's got to follow. If Pudge acts fast, maybe he can get a hook off. It looks like Disruptor trusts in his spell, and he was correct to do so. Disruptor does take out the Warlock with a haste rotation. Meanwhile, the Windrunner stays in lane, and all of a sudden, the farm of the Radiant side is really looking up. 4 up here on the top. Disruptor getting a lot the first couple waves, and now the Windranger being the only one down here, continuing to pick plenty up. PA's still on the top of things. Oh, psych your mind. Kunkka takes it. They're really close, though. PA is still getting great farm down here. Even with the pressure Windrunner's pouring on, it looks like it's aimed at the Lion. WR. Is WR any easier to say than Windranger? No, it's not. They're both equally difficult to say at a level of absolutely ridiculous difficulty. It looks like Pudge, a little misguided in his positioning. He's thinking about trying to get a hook off. It is a level 4 hook now, so that range, that 1300 range, is absolutely redonkulous. He's got the Windranger in his sights. He's trying to line it up. There is a ward right here, though, so the Radiant see him. They know he's there. Of course, the Dire don't know that, so Pudge is going to keep trying to be sneaky. If it wasn't for that ward, he would be out of sight right now. Yeah, no, I think that still would have been outside. This is obviously in sight. He obviously crossed some vision. And the Guru is aware. He's going to tuck back in the trees. It looks like Disruptor, maybe Kunkka. Kunkka's a little bit hurt. Warlock doing some good stuff here in the mid. Oh! As we have a dive. Rubik, it's close. The tower shot has got him. And it technically goes to the Sand King, the last hero to do damage. And then we have an invisibility on the Kunkka. There's about to be an engagement in the woods. Pudge is standing out. This Invis rune's going to last a while. Kunkka can be patient. He can bide his time. He can wait for the perfect setup. He can wait until they catch the Pudge out alone. Or another hero, for that matter. Pudge tries to hook the Windranker. It doesn't work. It looks like the Disruptor's going to open up with all of his spells, but gets stunned. He didn't catch anybody in his static field. And now there goes a lift. Rubik teleported down. That's going to allow them to pick up the Phantom Assassin. Pudge, though, gets Kunkka again, but then goes taken down. The Windranker so far taken 2. Disruptor's going to pick up a kill there as well. Warlock's going to put a little bit of pressure on that mid tower, but a 1-for-3 trade goes the way of the Radiant on the bottom lane. And we now see the farm of the Windranker taking the lead on the Radiant side. PA still way ahead, though. 10 kills, 10 last hits. By all means, that PA is where the money's at. Psych! Net worth shows Disruptor and Windranker. I would say that that's a heavy win on this bottom lane. Of course, 2 supports against a carry and a support. You would expect the 2 supports to do better than the opposition in that lane. Supports are good early. It's the nature of static values as opposed to percentage-based values. Carries tend to have percentage-based values, and balance requires that percentage-based values be bad early and good late. Because if they were good early, they'd be stupid good late. It's just the way maths work. PA with Pudge back up. Probably thinking about being ballsy here. Windranker, though, is still A-okay on the farm. I'm not sure how aware the Windranker is. If we look at the hook, that's the range. She steps over. Oh, it's so close. Oh, it's so close. I bet Pudge was watching and thinking about it. I could take his player view. But that would require a couple clicks. And would require bringing up the match length. Oh, there's a slow. The dagger from the PA. Pudge is going to try it. A wind run's there, though. It's going to dodge the hook very deftly. Pudge can't latch anything. The cooldown's short, though. Windranker's going to return a little damage, maybe try to make them feel skittish, and then ultimately back off. Not dying is always better than trying to do something fancy and get a kill, especially given the Windranker doesn't have any mana. There's nothing fancy that can be done here. Looks like Lion's going to come top. There are 3 basically full heroes here. Of course, the Disruptor and the Razor. Neither low either. Let's see where it ends up going. Okay. They're just going to spam their spells out on the creep wave. Keep damage from happening to that tower. Respectable effort. Now the Windranker is no longer alone. Rubik, with PA, not necessarily the best time to reveal himself. With the creep wave fully against him, the Windranker out of mana, there's not necessarily a whole lot that can be done with just the Rubik and the right clicks from the Windranker. But it looks like we have an engagement on top. A stun goes out on Razor. Razor's getting blown up fast. The Chaotic Offering comes out from the Warlock. It looks like Kunkka wants to try to open up, but it's misguided. He's going to get slammed fast by Pudge and the Golem. Disruptor tries to save him with the static field, even drops the disruption. The ultimate doesn't pick up any kills, though. A 2-for-0. I believe one of those went the way of Pudge. He's sitting on 5 kills, a 5 and 2 Pudge, especially having mitted against a 1 and 4 Kunkka is definitely a nasty sight. Kunkka has gotten better last hits, but lately he's been focusing totally on the team fights. He hasn't been getting last hits. That's very dangerous. This Pudge is starting to look at a respectable amount of snowball, and oh, Rubik, I'm not sure he's aware. He is in the wrong spot, and there's nothing he can do here, and he's taking unnecessary damage. It looks like somewhere in the mix he stole the Shadow Word, which could be really nice. He's going to go ahead and pop a Clarity, unsure that he's able to use it. Kunk going to pick up an Invisibility. We'll keep an eye on that, see if that allows him to do anything bottom. It looks like he's going to go right back mid with it. It could have lined open up on the Sand King, but given that the Sand King has an invisibility, you should never expect to be able to kill the Sand King. If you know you're going to land a torrent, boat first, and the torrent will give the boat the timing to come and land itself. Now Kunkka, there's no reason to face up against this because Kunkka can't kill him. Sand King can just use his Sandstorm. Oh, never mind. Kunkka, with a torrent, pulls him out of it. The stun's going to come out, but Kunkka will eventually pick that kill up with a little bit of help from the Disruptor. Nice play. I was just talking about how you can't kill the Sand King, but I wasn't counting the fact that you can land a torrent pretty certainly whenever he goes into his Sandstorm. Makes it easy to land the torrent, and it pulls him out of his Sandstorm, as Sandstorm is a channeled ability. Now Pudge getting spotted out by Rubik. Pudge tries a hook, but doesn't make it. Rubik tries to throw him to the low ground, misses his ability as well. The Dismember's going to come in, and Rubik will end up blown up to the finger of death from the Lion. Pudge, can he get out? There's still another shock. Oh, the Urn Charge, just in time. 17 health. That health definitely came from the Urn Charge. Let's see, did it come off the Lion? No, it didn't. It came off Pudge. Pudge himself. Yeah, Pudge is the one with the Urn. Previous kill got him an Urn Charge, and that Urn Charge just saved his life. Urn is a great item on a number of supports and on a very few powerful mid heroes. Pudge being one. That Urn helps his mana problems and allows him to do stuff like that. Escape a narrow death. Narrowly escape death, I should say. I believe there's a key to check items. I'm going to try to hit it here. Golden XP, there it is. It's the F2 key. Let's see what we have here. Windranker having already picked up a Force Staff. That's really good farm for a support, especially considering that I'm still seeing wards in the inventory, and the Radiant have had wards up this whole game. My god! I'm saying something about farm and whatnot. What does the farm matter? If you get blown up by a PA crit, all it took was a blink and a single strike. That almost killed the Windranker. Looks like she's just now using the salve she had from the early game, though. Back over to items. It looks like PA's well underway to a Battle Fury. And she's even going the phase boots and poor man's shield beforehand. So definitely looking good on the farm. I'm sure the net worth, yeah, shows her on the top. I was going to say, these last hits specifically, I heard a boat go out. It was actually down here. It looks like it didn't land. PA confirming with a whoa! Probably just saw a boat go flying right by her head. Windranker, it looks like she went home. Requiring a little bit extra mana. Did pick up the ultimate. This is interesting to see. The ultimate, not always a good purchase. Normally, you don't necessarily have the mana to make the ultimate work. And Windranker, built as a support, doesn't really build right-click damage, which her ultimate's based on. Normally, instead, she'll build other items. Given that she has had decent farm, though, a matter of fact, the top of the Radiant, even in net worth, it could be a decent idea to get the ulti. Because if she can build her right click, that ulti can spit some damage. It's probably the one thing that allows the Windranker to have a little bit of carry potential. By no means am I calling the Windranker a carry, don't mistake me. Just a bit of that potential. Some potential to do some respectable damage. Oh, the hook is going to land. Kunkka. Christ, the Dismember. He can't get away. It looks like he used a haste. He will eventually get away. A little bit of support from the Windranker. They could return that. A stray power shot's not quite going to land. Static field. Oh, will land with the combination of Kunkka's X marks the spot. A boat comes in as well. It's not even needed. Pudge is dead beforehand. An Epicenter comes out from the Sand King. It looks like a disruption is going to keep him from doing much else, though. After the stun, Sand King will be cleaned up. It looks like he's not even going to get the Rubik, although the Lion on the backside will. It looks like the Warlock was taken out up top during the middle of that action, and the Lion goes down. A 4-for-1 trade. The Radiant really shoring up their defenses and stepping into this game the right way. That brought them back from... well, I guess I could check out the gold graph. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It wasn't a huge advantage. 1,000 gold is actually very negligible. But it was an advantage swinging the way of the Dire. And that, we'll see it update in just a second, is sharply coming back the way of the Radiant. The concern, though, is still down here free farming.
is under attack.
and was doing so during that entire team fight. A torrent lands on the Warlock. He's going to have to drop his Chaotic Offering to save his life. And X marks the spot, pulls him back, but it's not enough. Pudge gets a Dismember on Kunkka and takes him out again. Pudge is getting the right type of snowball. He hasn't even picked up his passive yet. By the time he does, he's going to get a lot of strength and burst.
Is under attack.
There's a stun onto the Razor. He's going to get taken out with a Burrow Strike. But again, Pudge is going to be knocked down. The Disruptor. The right spells in the right place. Uh-oh. A little bit of a slow from a dagger. Hits on the Windranger. She can't escape. The Golem from Chaotic Offering gets the killing blow. Hands the bonus off to the Warlock. The Disruptor's in a bad way. The Static Field should save him. And it will. It'll lock the PA in place. Psych! She's going to Blink Strike with the dagger. She's going to get the kill. A 4 for 1 is responded to with a 1 for 3. And now Rubik playing very risky here. Oh, the crits! You got to watch out. Rubik's a squishy hero. All it takes is the right little right click.
Radiant's middle tower is
And PA's in trouble. But now, the PA dropping fast. A tower will be traded out. So ended up being a 2 for 3. With the tower going the way of the Dire. Pretty much a wash. Honestly. Not sure much of an advantage goes either way there. Experience looks like it's fairly heavy in the favor of the Dire. And the gold does go a little bit their way. So that little bit of tower gold to the whole team sometimes can go right past what a hero kill allows. Pudge, I mean, he's got all the space in the world. And this is a Dire ward, so I'm not sure that the Radiant see him here. Of course, they know he's there now. It's daytime. This Kunkka's looking straight at him. X marks the spot. The Torrent is on time. No boat to follow up. He does boat now. It looks like it's on the right spot. Yes! Pudge stunned. Taken out by Kunkka and the Razor. Looks like some support was rotating that way, but it's just not enough. We'll flip back off that farm tab, though I am very proud of it showing the Windrunner's number up there on the top of the Radiant side. This net worth is becoming more and more pertinent, more and more the story over last hits. Last hits are one of a few different means of getting farm,
is under attack.
towers and hero kills being the other two.
Tower is under attack.
PA has got the hero kill, or the creep kill part of that farm. I would say Pudge's net worth is almost totally based on hero kills, because his last hits are literally the bottom of the whole chain. He spent a lot of time just sitting behind some bushes, waiting on that hero kill. He's not spent much time farming the traditional way. Through creeps, an Invis Disruptor is not going to spot the Pudge. Pudge's on the high ground there. He might have got a glimpse. No? Okay. There is a Sentry and an Observer here for the Dire, so they can actually see the Disruptor. This is dangerous. Pudge, he knows he's there. He's just going to dismember. No, no. Disruptor, you are so dangerous right now. Where's the hook? There it is. Disruptor dodges it by the hair on his chin. Good thing the Disruptor sports a goatee, else he might have got hooked right there. The whole Dire team is coming together, though, right around this river. It looks like the Radiant have a ward nearby. It's about to expire, though, and it doesn't have the greatest vision into this area anyway. There is a ward just placed down by the Disruptor. It's going to get picked off, I assume. Oh, out comes a boat. Oh, it's just not going to land. The Delta Split's perfect. Dire dodging out from that. Still haven't quite taken out this ward. I assume that's going to happen momentarily. Yep, there it goes. Now the Dire have great vision here, and the Radiant do not. You can see a Torrent kind of guesstimated there. It's going to be off the mark.
Radiant's middle tower is
The
under
Dire
attack.
expecting that kind of business, expecting the captain's shenanigans. And so the Radiant team will split and try to go back to farming. Pudge gets a regen. Could be a nice rune for him to have. He could be in the front of a fight. So long as he doesn't get spammed to death, he could very easily just back out long enough to fully regen and then re-engage. Oh, the Windranger, I believe, just saw Pudge. It looks like they're wise to it. They're in some dangerous spots. If anybody shows here, they could get hooked, assuming that they're able to stay still long enough. A disruption comes out. Pudge's hook's going to miss. He's going to back off immediately. PA's getting taken out really quickly. The Windranger was their initial target, but she backed off just long enough. Now Chaotic Offering's going to come down. Pudge hooks the Razor. The Dismember's going to take him out. There's a lot of health dropping low here. The Rubik's going to follow. Disruptor even is going to fall. There is a Fatal Bonds on the Windranger, but I'm not sure she's linked to any targets. So that is going to dissipate without any other result. The Sand King apparently looking for the Windranger. The Windranger's going to try to pull the creep wave off the tower and then teleport out.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Fairly wise move. It may have bought a little bit of time there. They're even going to try to fortify. I'm not sure if the tower can defend itself. Warlock now looking for the Windranger. Sand King's going to keep the lane from responding, so this tower will certainly go down. Looks like it would have went down anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Army of the Radiant not quite fast enough to make it there in time. Another little trade in the Dire. Enjoy a bit of a hero kill lead. So let's take a look at this difference in gold earned. It's staying in the way of the Dire. It keeps peaking up to about even. Going the way of the Radiant, just a couple hundred gold, and then going right back down towards the Dire. And I've got to say, the PA is honestly the reason for a lot of this. Her farm, her last hits, if I can locate her, are staying really stellar. And now the Battle Furies come out. The PA's farm is going to skyrocket. She's even got a Morbid Mask that's going to allow her to lifesteal, which just gives her sustainability out the wazoo. She can stay in the jungle for as long as she wants. She never has to return to the fountain or any of that shenanigans. Her farm should begin to skyrocket. And the Radiant are really going to have to put something together here to either slow the PA down or match her. They're going to have to get Kunkka in the spin of some good items. It does have a Chrysalis. That can be really nasty when coupled with his Tidebringer Cleave.
Welcome back.
There is going to be an X marks the spot, followed by a Torrent. It's timed well. The Sand King is getting blown up quick. A boat's going to come in, kill the Sand King, and lock down the Warlock. The Warlock's stuck in a static field. He's for sure going down. It looks like Pudge can't even contribute to this fight. He's looking for a hook still. He's got a haste. But the entire Radiant team is here. They're here as 5 strong. Windranger daring Pudge to try a hook.
Dire's middle tower
The tower will go down.
Dire's middle
So the towers are brought even once again. Another X marks the spot. Lion this time blown up before he can think. It looks like the Dire are going to reciprocate a tower though, continuing the tower lead. The Radiant have their eye on the tier 2, but I'm not sure they're strong enough to take this. In 10 seconds, a couple supports are going to be back up. All but the Windranger with a level 2 ulti. She's really focusing. It looks like Kunkka wants to be aggressive against the heroes, though. A static field will allow him to get out alive, but Rubik's going to get hooked. There's the Dismember to take him out. A Disruption's going to land. A boat's going to fly through. The Warlock, the Lion is going to fall, and then even the Pudge gets taken out, and the tier 2 does go down. But here's a Chaotic Offering. Ultimate dropped by the Warlock. There's a Fatal Bonds and an Epicenter, but nobody's getting caught in the majority of it. It looks like a stun will even go on the Disruptor, but it's not quite enough. That Sand King is really close to taking out a couple heroes, but it looks like the Radiant are really happy with the trade so far. They're going to try to get out. Can the Windrunner escape? There's the Windrun. Windranger. I mean, it's even called Windrun. She's got an ability called Windrun. She's going to juke up to the top and TP out. It looks like the Sand King tried to juke down, or blink down, but didn't guess the juke correctly. And a great advantage there for the Radiant. There's the spike I've been looking for. That's what I'm talking about. That team fight so far has been game defining. With the sizes of these spikes, that is the one that makes a sizable advantage. That puts them in one spell swoop equal to the highest advantage the Dire's held. And it actually comes from the Dire's highest advantage. So a lot going the way of the Radiant right there. Pudge is going to pick up a Hooded Defiance. This is a really nice item for him. The Hood's main feature is that it has a lot of spell resistance. It also gives hit point regeneration, which is nice. But the 30%, whoa, Rubik getting picked off. All quick-like. The spell resistance includes his own Rot. His Rot does damage to him and enemies. And the spell resistance allows it to... Oh! Razor! Snatched by Pudge. There's the Dismember. There is going to be a Shackle, though, and Pudge is in trouble. He's going to get Static Field and everything. A matter of fact, the Static Field caught 2. The Dire are in trouble right here. The Razor's got to be a little bit careful, but he's still got enough life he can be involved. The Disruption's going to go down and stop the Sand King from doing his piece. Oh, here comes the Blink. Razor is going to get blown up. He stayed in just a bit too long. There it goes. It ends up being a Burrow Strike from the Sand King. Another Static Field's going to catch the PA. She's caught out. A Shackle gets her and the Warlock. My god, the lift ensures that she can't go anywhere. The Dire have got to run with their tail tucked between their legs. I'm not sure it's enough, though. Lion with the stun. It's actually a Earth Spike from Rubik. Or was that a Burrow Strike? It was a Burrow Strike. Sometimes the animation looks the same. I guess the hero moves with one. It doesn't move with the other. Warlock trying to run. There's another Burrow Strike, though. That level 4 Burrow Strike on a Rubik. What a great spell to steal. That is an awesome spell to have. Windranker picks that one up, and it ends up being a double kill for her. Whoop, whoop. We see the net worth tab flip on its head. PA dying a couple times in a row without any hero kills. She has gone a build where she needs to farm creeps, and she's not necessarily the best against heroes. This build is not an anti-hero build. If this were a Desolator instead, maybe that would be an anti-hero build. As is, though, the cleave is mostly wasted when you're fighting heroes. The damage from the Battle Fury is still nice, sure, but she's invested a lot of gold into overtime regeneration and cleave damage, both of which don't do the most in the spread-out, bursty fights of team versus team. And a Hex comes the way of the Windranker. So where I was talking about her ulti being reliant on damage, she is an intelligence hero, so these intelligence items are going to give her a massive amount of that, which contributes to her damage, which in turn makes her ultimate pretty amazing. Now doing about 150 damage. If we compare, the PA, of course, does more damage. But that may be it. I think Kunkka. We'll see Kunkka in just a second. Kunkka, as well, does 200 damage with a Daedalus. That is really nice, too. That's really nice farm. The net worth of Windranker and Kunkka right there on the top. PA. Oh, Windranker trying something tricky. There's the Hex. A wind run to make sure she's safe. There's a hook. The Dismember will land, but it looks like a boat might be in the right place. No, a Chaotic Offering. The Windranker will barely get out. The PA goes down. A Disruption keeps Pudge from really getting his full effect here. And it looks like Razor, with his ulti, wants to stick in this. A glimpse back is going to ensure the death of the Warlock. And that is a 2-for-1. The Razor did end up going down. It looks like a hook landed on him. I actually didn't see that. Was it a hook? Lion, actually. So it was a Finger of Death. A Finger of Death got the Razor. I was thinking I didn't see a hook, and it's normally really obvious when a hook lands. Pudge was pretty happy about being involved in that kill, though. Heard his voice over all the others. Sand King looks like he wants to go in on this, but the rest of the team isn't so sure. They're going to back off. Disruptor's net worth now topping the charts with the rest of the Radiant. Good things happening here in the mid-game. It's more than a 5,000 gold advantage. That's still not game-ending. That's a nice advantage. With that kind of an advantage, it's normally easy to continue taking team fights. Keep the advantage and maybe even expand it. Wow, as I'm talking about net worth and advantages, look at this Disruptor. We got a Mechanism, we got a Necronomicon. I love this guy's build. The Force Staff, the Arcane Boots, this guy built for his team. And more so than just the team, he built to push lanes. I like it. I like everything about it. That's a team fight build, and there are plenty of team fight abilities on this team. The Disruption, the Ghost Ship, there's going to be a lift and a static field. This Sand King is surely going to die. Oh, a Burrow Strike out. It's not going to be enough. He's going to get glimpsed back, and the Disruptor's going to take that one as well. The Warlock is now farming. It looks like the PA being smart, trying to stay out of the noise, trying to just get her farm on. That's exactly what she should do. If she stays away from team fights and just farms lanes and creeps, honestly up here on the top lane would be ideal, because the way this lane pushes in, and because of the number of jungle creeps here, she should be able to farm creeps faster than the Radiant team can farm heroes, even if they're consistently winning team fights. That's what this hero's made to do. It's made to farm creeps. Later on, it's made to get crits and blow up heroes too. Disruptor, invisible. Gonna pass the Lion. I would say ships passing in the night, but in this case it is as though one ship has its lights on and the other does not. The Lion, glaring his lights through the fog, readily obvious to the Disruptor. Disruptor, though, is going to be a sneaky little guy. He is going to put down a ward, breaking his invisibility. I don't think he's inside of anything, though, and he's going to TP out for safety. I really like that move. Not only the action of putting the ward down, this is a good spot. It's a high traffic area that will see lane movement from the Dire, going from bottom to mid. But also the way he got out, deciding to TP out there. It's a really nice choice. Couple wards keeping each other company. This is the tale of Romeo and Juliet. Though the wards are on opposing teams, and they do not know each other's true nature, they love each other just the same. They're made for the same purpose. They're there holding hands for at least the next 5 minutes. Actually, that ward's probably not going to last that long. Oh, Romeo! Spoiler alert, Juliet dies first. Go into the jungle, as I advised her. PA, gonna try to pick up that farm. We see the last hits very obviously. Actually, that's not that obvious. I feel like Windranker does not have the tools to farm creeps nearly as much so as does the PA. And the PA has farmed less than 50% more. Feels like that gap should be a little wider. Of course, the PA has shown up to team fights. That contributes. The PA has not done great in team fights either. Somewhere around here are hero kills. Yeah, there it is. PA down here at the bottom with 2 and 6. That means that 4 of the times that she showed up to team fights, she should not have. She should have instead stayed home. Or stayed in the jungle, rather. Or on a home lane. Lion keeping the lanes from pushing and taking farm. This is really odd. Pudge is trying to do a lot of hiding so that he can get good hooks. Hiding is necessary to get, a truly good hook. A totally unsuspected hook. But he needs to do a lot more time farming. If we go back over to the last hits, 28 is not acceptable, Pudge. You had really good snowball. You had good momentum in the early game, and you have squandered it trying to hide and look for more hero kills. Now, hero kill-wise, he's breaking even. But the net worth, you can see, puts him pretty far down the chain. That's not a good place for a Pudge. Pudge needs to be towards the top for his hero to really work. You have to man up hard as Pudge. There's a lot of lockdown included, so I guess if you're team fighting and if your team is really coordinated with you, then you can use a Pudge without having the advantage. But Pudge really works the best when he has a very strong advantage and he can just blow an enemy hero up before they even get to cast a spell. Pudge definitely has that potential with the right bit of snowball and the right advantage. A smoke. This is a very odd smoke. It is daytime. It's possible the Dire weren't watching, but if they were looking at this lane, then they saw that smoke. And a matter of fact, there were 4 heroes in vision on the map before the smoke went down. So the Dire probably should have. Somebody from the Dire team should have been looking at that lane. It doesn't look like Pudge is wise to their location, though, and the Radiant have definitely picked up on his location. Windrunner's going for the kill. She's coming in fast. Oh, the Shackle's not going to land, though. He jukes back just in time. There will be a Hex, and then a stun. The Windranker's in a dangerous spot, as is the Razor. The Epicenter does great damage, but the Disruption follow-up is going to totally discombobulate the Dire team. Pudge will get taken down for it. PA's very low. Sand King wants to run. He's going to pop his... actually, he didn't have the Pipe of Insight. He did have a spell shield on him from the pipe. It's going to get fired away by a power shot as he runs off. His blink will allow him to get away from the Windranker. The Windranker being low is going to TP out anyway. Necronomicon with Disruptor. It looks like he wants to push here. He's not sure about it. That fight technically went 1-for-1. I would have said it was much more heavily won by the Radiant than just a 1-for-1 trade, but they couldn't capitalize on some of the other kills. The PA got low, but didn't quite go down. Sand King got low, but didn't quite go down. They really needed to take those kills to be able to push the issue further. It is still a very even game. This lead is 1 team fight's worth of a lead. If a team fight goes heavily enough, the way of the Dire, let's say it goes 5-0, the Dire lose nothing and kill the whole Radiant team, you had better believe that this 5,000 gold advantage is going to come swooping back. Especially with some of the kill streaks that we've got going on the Radiant team. Like this Windranker. I'm not sure how many of these kills came since that first death, but a number of them, suffice to say. 8-1. I'm pretty sure the Disruptor's on a gnarly kill streak too. That means bonus gold if they get taken down. Kunkka. Balling up a haste rune. He does have a Shadow Blade now. Very odd that this Kunkka went Daedalus first, then Shadow Blade. Generally speaking, if you see a Kunkka go Daedalus first, he's going to go straight to 6 slotting. This works a lot in pub games, because you can generally just get away with farming continuously. Oh, the haste is going to serve Kunkka well here. It's going to keep Pudge from even trying the hook, even when hexed. As I was saying, though, Daedalus is a farm item, and if you go a farm item first, it's generally good to just farm hard fast. Just stick to that decision. Whereas Shadowblade is a comfort item. It's kind of counter to enemy heroes, and Kunkka's being very ballsy here. He's way out in front of his team. He does have the Shadowblade in just a couple seconds, but oh, the BKB. PA is serious about this. Kunkka could be in trouble. Nope, the Shadowblade's going to come up just in time. The counter initiation looks good for the Radiant. Disruption, will be a hook. There's the Chaotic Offering. Rubik goes down immediately. The Epicenter cleans up the Disruptor even. And the Radiant are low. Windranger looks like came to the fight a little late. Is not going to have anything to say. And there's a 2-for-1. We'll take a look at that gold graph in just a second. Lion picks up Kunkka. We'll see a little bit of a swing back. I'm not sure this is going to totally erase the advantage of the Radiant, though. They are looking hard for this Windranger. It looks like, oh god, there's a stun. Can they pick it up? Sand King's doing everything he can to delay. There's a hook. It will be juked, just barely. Windranger will get out for the missed hook. As I was saying, a lot of times you'll see a Kunkka get a Shadowblade first because it's a comfort item, and it kind of helps you fight heroes. Whereas a Daedalus, yeah, sure, it could help fight heroes, but it's kind of a farm item. That's where you are certain to get a good effect out of it. So it's odd to see a Kunkka go back for a farm or a comfort item when he's already kind of got an advantage, when he's already picking up big farm items. I'm not going to naysay, though. It is still a gnarly combo. Being able to be invisible and then initiate the fight with a cleave that has the potential to crit, and being able to position it due to your invisibility so that it hits multiple heroes on the enemy team, that can be a huge benefit, and it can output some incredible damage to the enemy team. Generation Rune going to be bottled by Pudge. It's Pudge that had the Pipe of Insight. I saw the spell shield on Sand King in the last fight. I was wondering who had that. I guess I'm not doing a good enough job checking the items out here. I was amazed by the Necronomicon and the Disruptor. Razor does not impress me all too much. The Yasha, I mean, it's a decent way to go, especially if he's going to go Manta style. I'm not sure how I feel if that's going to be a Sangan Yash, and it's going to be a Sangan Yash. You know what? That's not a bad item on Razor. Don't let me naysay it. Overall, though, this is a scared, I'm not doing good build, and he's not really. He's not on the top of the net worth chart. As a matter of fact, he's in the lower half, and that can be tough as a Razor too. Razor's a very balls-out hero. He's got to be aggressive. If you're not aggressive, you're not having Razor's impact. And with a disadvantage, it's tough to be aggressive. Playing defensively is not necessarily the Razor's strong suit. So you know what? I'm going to call myself a dummy. That's a good build. I like it. I like specifically the Vanguard. The Vanguard really helps Razor just stick in the fight whenever things aren't quite going his way. And his ultimate by itself, even if you're not able to build the Razor's right-click damage real high, his ultimate alone can spit out a lot of damage and can get some good minus armor out there that will make some mediocre damage turn good. Warding and counter warding going up again by the Dire. I've got to say they've been much more active with the sentries. I like that a lot. This can really win team fights. It looks like there is a sentry on the side of the Radiant. They're trying to do a bit of the same. Covering some popular spots here towards the top rune. I think the Dire have had more results out of their counter warding, though. They've killed more Radiant wards. Windranger doing a little split push. It looks like the PA wants it bad. A wind run straight out, though. Not even going to mess with it. A force staff, even. There's no way the PA can catch that Windranger. The rest of the Dire are hanging out in the middle. Getting a little bit nervous about the goings of this game. And yeah, there's the drop that I was talking about in that last team fight. It did end up going the way of the Dire. Just a little bit. If it had been a more handed 5-0, we might be looking at an even game. But as is, we still have an advantage. Setting in the Radiant Court. A hook! It's going to be off the mark. Unfortunately, I didn't see the end of it. I don't think there are any heroes real close to that. It might have been a hook into darkness. Sometimes those work. You never know. I wouldn't say to do them randomly, but a lot of times you can kind of go towards a high traffic area. You know, when you have just started showing in a lane and you expect somebody to be coming to thwart the aggression you're displaying. Sometimes you can throw a kind of random hook and get some love. Pudge with 11 flesh heap stacks. I didn't check up on this from a while back, but he's got enough hero kills. That gives him some pretty nasty strength. The strength's in a good place here for Pudge. He's already up over 2,000 hit points. tankiest member of the Radiant side. Close to 2,000, not quite there yet. And that's with an advantage in net worth on that hero. Last hits are actually getting really close between Kunkka and the PA. Oh, is this an invisibility rune? It is. Pudge invisible. It looks like the Radiant knows something's up, though. Pudge, though, not going to chip in for his team. PA is going ham. Razor drops fast. That disruption landed fairly well, though. It really slowed down the aggression of the Dire. A boat is going to just chase PA right into the Windranker. And it looks like a blink from the Sand King might just put him in harm's way. Pudge tries a hook. The only kill that's going to go the way of the Dire, though, never mind, is the kill in the beginning. Right as Lion dies, he fingers the Windranker, and down she goes. That finger of death, shocking up from the river. And that makes that a 2 for 4. Large advantage going the way of the Radiant. It could have been a lot worse. The way that team fight opened, it looked like it was going to be a 4 or 5 for 1. The Razor went down fast, but he soaked a lot of damage and time, while the rest of the team just opened a can on the Dire. Now the Warlock is left to try to defend this tower by himself. He will use the Chaotic Offering. That's for sure going to defend this 2 support push. However, it does also use the ultimate of the Warlock. That is an incredibly catalytical teamfight ability. He's got a refresher. He's going to spend it. Rubik, oh my god, Rubik steals the Chaotic Offering in the heat of the moment, no pun intended, and he's going to use it right back on the Warlock to escape. Can he escape, though? The Warlock, the Golem, it looks like there's just barely movement speed in the favor of these two. Rubik may have to turn around and get a spell off, but if he does that, the Golem's going to hit him. Force Staff may just keep him safe. The Warlock's got to back off. Or does he? No, Rubik turns around. The Telekinesis. Warlock goes too deep. He'll surely blow up, but the PA comes in to capitalize on the Rubik kill. The BKB is going to ensure that no spells are used against her for a moment, but when the BKB comes off, a shackle lands! Yeah, that was a perfect setup because I did, in fact, remember that moment. Both kills going the way of the Razor, just what he needs to jump up the net worth a little bit. Some dangerous numbers up there. Dangerous specifically for the Dire. What? What in the what? What item did the what the who? Huh? Kunkka just bought a Mjolnir. What does that mean? What does that even mean? How does that... The attack? I don't understand. I don't... I mean, that's cool that he's got so much farm he's like just spamming items. But I so don't understand why he would do that. Oh, the Windranker pulling a move here. Gonna win run around the front. There will be a Hex and a Shackle. It's made to latch. Now there's the ultimate, which I forget the name of. Focus Fire. It looks like she's still focusing on Pudge. There's a Burrow Strike from Rubik. No, that one was an Earth Spike. He's going to go down. And now the Sand King is caught. That was a fail fight for the Dire, Kunkka, to correct you. The boat was not necessary. You threw it out for style points. And the style points, sir, I will award you. I tip my hat. Down they go. Your cleave had more than a little bit to do with how one-sided that fight was. Nobody goes down on the way of the Dire. And this is looking like Rax. The Warlock, 35 seconds from ult, 16 seconds from refresher. I have to wonder if he'll wait for both. He should. He should wait till the ult's up, use it, then refresh, then use it again. If he uses the refresher first, he will not get 2 ults out of it. It looks like they're going to try to engage with just 3 onto the full 5 of the Radiant. PA popping her BKB again. It doesn't even matter. It looks like Rubik did go down, but the Razor takes out PA. And now the Warlock. Oh, he's just getting his ulti. He's just about to get the ulti. And he will not drop it. Ultimate anticlimax. It looks like a mini stun's used from a Shackle to keep the Dismember from really going to work from the Pudge. Kunkka will get taken out, so it's a 2 for 4. My, there have been a lot of those. It's just going to work out in the favor of the Radiant, though. The middle Rax goes down. Razor doesn't even care. He's just over here auto-attacking a building because why not? And it looks like the rest of the Radiant will get out. The Razor's going to think better of it and go now. Now that there are 2 up. Although they're a full 30 seconds away from a 3rd, 4th, or 5th being up. Dire in a bad way. Oh, the 10,000. That 10,000 mark is a milestone that's tough to come back from. The Radiant have picked up a real big advantage here in the last couple team fights, and especially in taking that Rax. That's probably bigger than any of the individual team fight wins. Invisibility from the Sand King. He does have an Ags, and he's got the ulti. He could try to make something happen. He's not even aware of it, though. He's just going to walk on. Razor's going to jet on out of here with his 455 natural movement speed. God, that's disgusting. He does have a Desolator. Used to be that the orb effects of Sang and Yash and Desolator didn't stack, but Sang and Yash orb effect has been changed. The Lesser Maim is actually not technically an orb effect. It's just a side effect. So now Desolator can stack with it. I like the Desolator pickup. It's probably one of my favorite items on Razor. It has special synergy with his ultimate. That armor reduction with the armor reduction of Desolator really gets nasty. The Windranker now doing enough damage that she can split push like a boss. It looks like an Ags picked up on her as well, with a Mystic Staff doing over 200 damage. The Sand King's going to try to open up on her. I'm not sure what's going to happen of it, though. A little bit of paint traded, that's all. Actually, not that much. Windranker's going to think better of it and get out. Not that she's afraid of the Sand King, but not seeing any other heroes on the map. She is afraid of 2+ heroes, and that's exactly what she's facing here in her lack of knowledge. The split push stays strong with the Radiant, though. I guess they're not really getting to that bottom lane very well, but they're forcing the Dire to respawn top, and meanwhile they're... never mind. They were kind of pushing mid a bit. Not really anymore. I like the positioning of the Dire wards, and a matter of fact, I like that Radiant ward a lot, too. I like to see that the wards are falling in similar locations for both teams. A lot of times, one team will be on the back foot, one team will be aggressive, and the defensive team will ward close to their base. The offensive team will also ward close to their base, so close to the enemy's base. And seeing wards in the same place indicates that both teams know how to prioritize map space and put a ward where the action is going to be. Basher now up on Phantom Assassin. That could be really nasty. The right crits and the right bashes could allow her to take a fight on anyone, and it could allow her to do it quickly. Pudge getting up on his favorite cliff, setting up for a good hook. It looks like he's going to run right past his little balcony spot. The Radiant did have a... Is this a sentry? It is a sentry. They may not have seen Pudge up there. He's going to try to hook. It's going to miss. Meanwhile, the lane continues to be pushed. Dire here are together as 5. Razor actually getting a stroke of luck there, running by the Pudge while his hook was down after having missed one recently. Otherwise, that this straight hallway of trees may have made an easy target. Double damage picked up by Sand King. Looks like Kunkka's not sure if other heroes are around, so he's just going to Shadow Blade to be safe. I wonder what he's picking up. The Perseverance makes me think Battle Fury, which is really weird this late. That's an item that you go first to increase your farm. The Point Booster, that could be a casual Point Booster. I really don't know what that's for. I'm not sure what item Kunkka would want that includes a Point Booster. None, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, his build has been a little bit wonky so far. It's possible he's just clicking things on his quick buy bar, which can do some good justice at times. I'll defend the new players here and say, hey, if you don't know anything about items, just click stuff on the quick bar. Don't spend too much time in a game looking at items. That will lose that game. Spend time farming, and when it comes to buying items, just buy them. See the effect later. Use game after game after game to learn what items you should be buying. Don't think that you can come into a game of Dota early and know what the hell you need to buy item-wise. It doesn't work that way. You can't read tooltips and really understand what an item will do for you. Even though the tooltips are very detail-oriented. They've got all their stats put out. It's going to be a Bloodstone. Okay. I don't necessarily dislike this. I don't think it's optimal. But he's tanky now, and that's really nice. This Pudge, seen by the ward, he has no chance. It looks like there will be a pullback into a Torrent. Good timing, Kunkka. I love it. Torrent lifts him up. Pudge is taken down. That could be a game-losing blow. Without the Pudge, this is now a 5-on-4 fight, and he's down for 50 seconds. Does he have buyback? I doubt it. There's a tab for that. I'm bad, though. I don't know the key. Buyback, buyback, buyback. Oh, the rock is going to be dropped. Chaotic Offering. There's a lot of hit points sinking fast. Windranker goes down immediately. Kunkka as well. The PA has just iced both of these. No buyback on the Kunkka. Windranger does have buyback. The slow, maybe just enough to allow them to pick off the Razor. If she can get close enough for a blink, it's not going to happen. The Sang and Yash choice just saved the Razor's life, that movement speed addition. You know what, I suppose if he went for a Manta, he would get an equal amount of movement speed, so maybe Sang and Yash didn't save his life over Manta, but it definitely did save his life over movement speed, or over items that don't grant movement speed. And now Pudge is back up. Wow, that fight turned fast. I was totally wrong. Stun gonna go on some illusions. Always a good feel, always a fist pump. Whenever you can get an enemy to spam out their spells, their mana, their cooldowns on a few illusions. It's not really going to be a factor in any way. This push might be, though. Wow, 4 ranged creeps. A gaggle of melee. That's going to cream right through this Radiant wave. Probably lose very few. And go straight towards the base. It doesn't look like they want to follow it, though. The Dire are still aware. They're kind of in a bad way. This is a dangerous game for them. If they have a misstep or two, and it causes a team fight to go the wrong way, they could very easily lose another Rax, and the game could get infinitely more difficult. I'm not sure if they're looking at items right now, but I don't like it. They're sitting in the fountain, and when they're behind, sitting in the fountain is a surefire way to lose the game. That lead, and actually it dipped back down. It's staying up there, though. It's lofty. Since getting up, honestly, since getting up to that 5,000 mark, it hasn't ever dipped all the way back down. Even when the Dire have put it together well and really shined, it's just small little turnbacks. It's not enough to get that net worth up to the top of the charts. Matter of fact, Kunkka, at this point, with that Mjolnir, Bloodstone, Daedalus, really looking the best. It looks like the PA is going to be hexed out by the Windranger. No other heroes, though, nearby enough to capitalize. Kunkka going to go solo against Roshan. He can definitely do this even without any kind of lifesteal. Lifesteal would make it easy. These crits would be giving him retarded health back. Crazy good health back. Even without that, though, he's tanky enough. He will be able to take Roshan out alone. And the Radiant are aware of this, and they're just going to stage for this. They don't want to all get in the Rosh Pit. That's a surefire way to lose your entire team to 1 AoE. Chaotic Offering is just coming back up, and he's got a double. If they were all in the Rosh Pit, a Chaotic Offering could easily win a team fight for the Dire. They're going to be careful, though. Even sending a Necronomicon up the cliff. I like everything about the way the Radiant just took that Roshan, and the fact that it went to Kunkka. Now there is an Aegis on Kunkka. He's a little low on health for the moment, but second health, Jesus. I mean, he's like Mario, who just got a green mushroom. Now he can do whatever he wants. He can play around and try new tubes. And it doesn't matter if he dies or gets caught out. He'll still come right back up. Matter of fact, the time it takes them to kill him may give the Radiant team enough of an edge to take everything out. And the Radiant are posturing. They want to take this Rax down. The boat's going to come in. It's a bit premature. It does land on all the creeps. That's actually not bad. That's kind of a nice place to land it. Kunkka's going to get jumped on, just like the Radiant expected. The Aegis is popped. However, Pudge gets pulled to the low ground. He was standing too close to the cliff. Now he's shackled up to a tree. The Pipe of Insight will go out, as well as an Epicenter and a Chaotic Offering. It looks like the doubles hit. Kunkka actually goes down, as well as the Razor. The Dire are taking this fight. The Radiant need to be really careful. And they're going to get out. Good on them. Wow. The way that team fight turned, I was saying that a Chaotic Offering in the Rosh Pit could take a team fight. No, the Chaotic Offering's just got to land on a hero or two. And honestly, the Warlock has 2 attempts to get that. Rubik, not fast enough. He's going to be caught and picked off. Meanwhile, the big bad golems of the Warlock, they're going to march around. What is he getting next? He's got a Hyperstone. I don't understand this. Normally you go Ags before the Refresher. I think Ags is a little bit more cost effective, and it's also easier to build to, in my opinion. The Point Booster, the Vitality Booster, sometimes the Energy Booster do a lot for Warlock, especially if you're getting picked on. That Vitality Booster can mean a whole lot for your health. He's up to 2,000 now. Normally you get the Ags first and then go Refresher. He's doing things a little backwards. He actually doesn't even have the Ags yet, but he's been doing work nonetheless. His ulti alone is taking team fights, and I can't say alone. It's good coordination. His ulti is the factor that allows it to happen. A tier 2 is going to go down. The Radiant have no chance at defending it. It looks like they know. Rubik's almost up, but right now there only is 4. Kunkka's going to be a little bit ballsy. Oh, it's going to force the Phantom Assassin to pop her BKB. The BKB's already off. She's got to be careful. And X marks the spot's going to pull her back, but the Razor is going to get hooked, and he gets ready to get dismembered, but he's hexed immediately, and there's a shackle on 2. Pudge to Warlock, a disruption right behind him. Razor does end up going down to the Finger of Death. I think this fight, especially with the PA dropping, is definitely going the way of the Radiant. Lion thinks he can step back in. Nope, your team's dead, brother. There's a nice stun. It hit a lot, but there's no way. Or is there? Lion looks like he's going to escape. Now trading for the life of the Sand King. Windranger has her eye on the Warlock. The Warlock's getting close to having his ult and his refresher up. If he dies right now, that is going to be a huge drop. Oh, he's down for 80 seconds. They went from having 20 seconds before being allowed a team fight winning ability to now 90 seconds before having that team fight winning ability. Blade Mail. Huh. I like that this Kunkka is building items based on what he thinks he needs in this game. He's not just blindly getting items that he knows are good on Kunkka. He got a tanky item because he knows that he's our primary damage soak, and he got a Blade Mail because he got a tanky item. So now the Blade Mail can return damage to anybody that takes him out. So that's got a little bit of synergy with each other. I kind of like that. I'm still not sure about the Mjolnir pick, but I like that he's trying to account for what the enemy team's doing and what our team needs. It's now a 2-on-2 at the top lane. However, one of those 2 is a Pudge. He's going to get a Dismember off. It looks like he will be hexed, though, and then shackled. The Windranger's serious about it. She's going to use her Focus Fire. My god, the damage is huge! Pudge gets taken out, soloed by the Windranger. Now the Lion wants to man up. He can't do that, though. This Windranger is silly farmed. 3rd highest net worth in the game. It looks like the PA will finally chase her off. Rubik, you're being a little too ballsy there. My god. Crit almost blows him up. It takes a couple extra hits before he's gone. A first hit bash. There is a wind run, though, at the right time. It looks like there will be just enough space to allow the Windranger to get out. And now the Razor's in a dangerous way. He did steal about 100 damage. That puts him up over 300. But the crits from the PA are too heavy. For a Pudge, the Radiant lose Rubik and Razor. It looked like the Windranger wanted to do something to try to help, but just couldn't from the other side of the cliff. A Warlock ulti is dropped to save the mid. I mean, they are mega creeps, but a matter of fact, it's now 2 lanes worth of mega creeps. I really don't know how I feel about that ultimate, and I don't know how I feel about using that refresher either. The refresher is the longer of the 2 cooldowns. So he just put himself further away from having 2 in a row than what he was just a second ago. And honestly, it's my opinion that you should always use them together. You should try to never use just one alone, because 2 is so devastating. It will assure a team fight if it lands on 2 or 3 heroes. I'll not pick on him, though. The Warlock is in dire straits. The dire team in general are apparently enjoying a vacation in their own straits. They're in a bad way, is what I'm trying to say. Abyssal Blade. I said first hit bash a minute ago. It's possible that the PA used the Abyssal Blade. In fact, possible schmoshable. It's likely. The PA got the on-use stun. Now the Dire team's left to pick up the pieces of their single racks plan for defense. Things are not looking good here. There's a heavy advantage the way of the Radiant. The gold just keeps going up and up and up and up. The experience very close. The hero level tab, it shows that there are 2 25s on the side of the Radiant. There's only 1 25 on the side of the Dire, but there is a nice block here. The Dire have been fighting together really well. When they put that Warlock ulti together, they pretty much always win that team fight. And the experience is close. It's really close. Definitely within a team fight, a swing in one way or the other. The farm, though, is what really gives the Radiant an edge in these team fights, and especially in the pick and pull between Warlock ultis. Every time a Warlock ulti's down, the Dire try to avoid engagements, which is smart, but the Radiant are just using their mobility and their sleight of item to put things together. Boots of Travel now on the Kunkka. Mjolnir picked up all at once on the Warlock. I really don't agree with this item. The Warlock needs an Axe. I don't know what he's doing. This is silly. Mjolnir doesn't have an effect, really. As far as I'm concerned, that is 6,000 something gold of wasted item. And here's the fight. They're not ready for it. The Dire are not at all ready for this. Lion's going to get caught out by a boat, and you can tell by the enthusiasm in my voice that this is an incredibly one-sided fight. PA will pick up a kill on the backside. What do you expect? She's the PA. She can crit a kill as easy as Kunkka can piss off the side of his boat. And now, once her BKB's down, she's going to try to run away, but I don't think she can make it. Pudge, again, missing the hook. Story of the second half of the game. He had great snowball early, but he has not pulled it out. Oh, man. Razor picks up a double at the end, and it's a 5 for 1. Who bought back? Disruptor, so much gold and so much farm. He's just going to buy back. And down it goes. The Radiant take the game after a really long, hard-fought struggle. And that, friends, was my first ranked match. It will not be the last. I can't wait to see what kind of rank I land in. I can't wait to feel like I'm in a game with all really equally skilled players. I feel like that's almost never the case right now. Don't let me complain, though. I've had a lot of great games in Dota, and I like their matchmaking in general. Huh, my mouse is not showing up. I wonder if I can get to the close button anyway. Oh, I saw it light up. Oh, man. My sense for mouse location. Oh, there, I got it. Okay. Let me stop screwing around with interface bugs. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.